Hey fam, stop the fight. I don't want to see it. Yeah, I said it. Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. I don't want to see it, man. I don't.
Incredible. Fast.
Stop it, bro.
You, George Foreman,
In the fight.
all you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
I know y'all gonna say, man, what the hell you talking about, man? We've been waiting for this, man. I ain't gonna lie. I've been on the forefront of this one. This is how I came into boxing, wanting this matchup to happen. It's the reason why I've been watching boxing for the last 4 years, because I'm a casual. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I remember my parents getting a fight maybe when Tyson fought. I remember buying a couple Mayweather pay-per-views. But for the most part, I really wasn't in the fight game. I didn't really appreciate boxing like that. Only just, you know, from a natural standpoint. You know, everybody loves boxing, just from a natural standpoint. But I was just a casual. But I'm sitting on my couch, and I think it's 2019. I'm like, man, what's going on in boxing? You know, since Mayweather, you know, he ain't really at the height. Like, who do we root for? You know, Andre Ward is retired. Like, who do we root for? Like, who do we get behind in the sport? And I'm watching Keith Thurman fight Josecito Lopez. And I like Keith Thurman. I thought it was, you know, he got hurt and whatever, but it was a good fight. He ended up winning. And I was like, oh. And mind you, I don't know nothing. I don't even know the welterweight division weight. Like, I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't know what the weight limit is. 120, 130, 140. I don't know that. All I know is heavyweights. I think you got to be over 215. Like, that's my knowledge at the time. But I watch this fight and I get curious. And I go down a rabbit hole, man. So thank you, Blue Blood Sports TV, Boxing Ego, Fanon, the Boxing Voice, Contender Regime, all of these boxing channels, man. I can't even name them all, man, but I listen to them like literally all. And I be finding new ones. Side note, I be finding random new ones. I'm like, God damn, it's more. Like, so I be listening to all of the content. But so I go down this rabbit hole of boxing after that, because I look at Keith Thurman, I'm like, I got to be something else. There's something else out there. I know Black America, you know what I'm saying? We didn't boy, like, where we at? Like, how we representing in this sport? And I find Errol Spence. I figure out that this is the welterweight division. That's the one Mayweather was in. That's what Keith Thurman is in. Who are the top guys at this welterweight division? Like, what's the stories? And so, you know, you go through the story. Keith is a champion. You know, you hear he kind of ducking Spence. Spence is a young bull that's kind of coming up, who, you know, he next up. And so I go to Spence. I go to his fights. I YouTube all his fights. And man, impressive, bro. Impressive. Like, just from top to bottom. Like, I don't know. You know, everybody got their own formula for what they like or whatever. Man, I like Spence. Well-spoken dude. Texas, man. Talk slow. Cool. Seem like he himself. Dog in the ring. Like, you know, American black man. Like, I gotta represent this. I got to support this. Not only that, he's just a great fighter. Dog. Putting hands on people. And just so naturally, I'm like, all right, so who is his competition? And, you know, it's Keith Thurman. I'm like, he look like I don't look right. Keith Thurman, mentally, like the stuff that he say, I'm like, nah, I can't. He don't represent my way of thinking. I can't rock with him, like, right? Because, like I said, it got to be from top to bottom. It got to be, for me, right, as a fan, it got to be the fighting, who they are, who they portray themselves to be as a person. And then it's like this other intangible thing, like what they say match up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just, you know, they solid cats, bro. Because I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't gonna say nothing outside of who you are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just what? So if you say something, then that's what you mean. And so everything Cuz said was like, yeah, I'm behind Spence. So when I look up his competition, Terence Crawford, man, I seen Cuz fight. I'm like, nigga, yeah, he did, yeah. I need to see that. I need to see him and Spence fight. I gotta see it. Right, this is about 2019. I'm like, yeah, I gotta see it. And I get the backstory that they actually been talking about fighting each other, and I'm excited. I'm like, oh, I'm in boxing. So now I'm just, I actually go to a Spence fight. I went to 2 Spence fights. I went to him and Sean Porter, and I went to Spence Ugas. You know what I'm saying? So I go, I went out to Texas and went, where else did I go? Where was the other fight? But I think both was Texas. I flew out to Texas. I'm in Cali. I went to go see it. And that was out of my character. Like, I ain't never been to a concert before. Just FYI. Like, I don't like big crowds and sporting events. Like, I'm cool. Like, I play football, but I don't want to go to no football game. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. Yeah, but so I went. Like, I'm pulling up. I pulled up twice. I went to a Devin Haney fight. I haven't been to a Crawford fight yet, though. Even though company that I'm with, that I'm invested in, BLK Prime, did get Crawford's last fight with Abanesian, on our platform. But I was doing a whole bunch of stuff at the time that I couldn't be involved with that at the time. So I missed actually meeting Terence Crawford, but yeah, man, Terence Crawford became my favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying? Just everything that he do in the ring is just like, it's like if you want entertainment, like, it don't get no better than this. Right? It really don't get no better than this, because at the end of the day, what do we want to see? Like, what's entertaining to us? I would imagine most of us, what's entertaining is when we watch a movie or a TV show, right? The best shows is when the character really makes you believe that they are who they portraying themselves to be. Right? A motherfucker that's really about his shit. If he say he gonna do something, nigga's done. Remember in Taken, when they was like, he came to that moment like, hey, they had his daughter and shit, and he said, I've been doing this shit for a long time. I had a particular set of skills. And then the fact that he said that, then he went to go do that, and then when the dude was on the phone, he's like, good luck, and he played it back. In that moment, it was like he portrayed who he nigga. And so when you look at Crawford, and you look at his demeanor and who he is and what he say he is, and if he say, like you say, if I say I'm gonna knock you out, then he go do it. Like, it don't get no more it don't get no better than that. Like, this is what we want. Especially in the black community, our characters, like, O-Dog, like Kane, like characters who really, about that. Like, characters for black people, if your character faulty in the movie and you doing shit, black people don't rock with you. Like, you can be a bad guy, but long as you are who you say you are, that's the way we be entertained. And so that's who Crawford is, and that's who he's been. And there's the pushback is like, people, instead of just accepting it, since they like Spence, then they have to try to make it seem like Crawford is not who he's saying he is. And the fact that he did, even though he said, I'm gonna knock a motherfucker out, then he knocked everybody out, the fact that he did that is because he didn't fight anybody. But they're missing the point. He said that he gives off the kind of energy when he say something, then he go do it. And the things that he said, he's actually done it. So that's, anything else beside that is we sidetracked. We established. The nigga knocked everybody the fuck out. Period. Ain't no, well, you didn't fight nobody, or ain't no other excuses. So I was confused, like, cause when this first 2019-20, It's changed now, but when I first started looking into this shit, the Crawford hate was huge. They was making it seem like Crawford was the one not making this fight. I kid you not. Like, that's the energy that I got, and I was being very unbiased. But that was the energy, man. And the energy has swayed since, everybody, maybe more people making YouTube channels and all of that and whatever. But the energy then was Crawford. And then now that the fight is happening, we understand. I made a video about this, that it's Terrence's obligation to make this fight happen. And obviously it sounded like it was some politics behind the scenes stuff. And, Spence ended up having to, he couldn't go back on his word, like, because who he portrayed himself to be, his character has to be his character. He's got to be consistent. And so that's why I believe this is going to be a good fight, because Spence is staying true to his word. Now, the reason why I say Spence lose, because I see the chink in his armor, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong about him losing, but the chink in his armor, I ain't wrong about. The chink in his armor is that he knew that it wasn't Crawford's fault, right? Clearly, right? Because he came out and said, I had to make sure I get on my team, and I forced him to make the fight. So if he had to force his own people to make the fight, how could it be Crawford's fault? Boom, done. Boom, gavel, hit the gavel. Boom. Let's not waste time debating that, right? So it was not Crawford's fault. It was his side's fault. Not his personally, but his side. Right? But he was kind of letting the narrative go that it was Crawford's fault. Or he would say stuff to egg it on like it was Crawford's fault. You know what I'm saying? And that's some sucker shit. Just a little tiny bit. It's like a little chink. Like, oh, that's the little chink. That's the little chink in the armor I see with Errol Spence. And so I think ultimately Terence Crawford wins because he's more true to his character on who he needs to be. And when you true to your character like that, you'll die before you know what I'm saying, before you sacrifice on who you are, who you believe yourself to be in that character. When you playing your role on a high level as Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. But I see a little tiny chink in Spence's armor. That's why I picked that's why I picked Crawford, right? Because you hear the debates all around. People are picking Crawford to win because of, all of the skill sets or lack thereof. Or, he's picking Spence to win because of the jab and because he's bigger. And, they breaking it down from a fight standpoint. I don't really, for one, I don't think I'm good enough to do that. I don't know boxing enough to do that. And for two, I just want to see how it unfolds. I don't want to predict it. I want to be totally surprised. I don't even want to, when I think about fight strategy, I just turn it off. I'm like, nope, I don't want to hear it. I want to be surprised. I don't want to be able to predict it. I don't want to say, oh, this is going, Spence going to jab, Crawford going to counter it and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Nah, I don't even want to do that for this fight. I just want to enjoy whatever happening. Because if I feel like if I try to predict it like that, then now I'm giving it a ceiling. And then if it don't match my idea of what it should be like, then I might say, oh, this was a boring fight. Nope. Every punch is gonna be a surprise. And I'm just gonna enjoy it, from a true fan. But so yeah, I can't really analyze the fight like that. I'm more analyzing the fight on who character is really mean what they say, and when they get into the true thick of the fire, are they gonna stand on who they are, or are they gonna back up, or are they gonna back off? You know what I'm saying? And I don't see, it's levels, bro. Like a lot of people, you know, in this whole talk, a lot of people talk about Ryan Garcia when he got hit and he didn't get up, he couldn't get up and fight, right? And I honestly, outside looking in, I don't know boxing. I never sparred, you know what I'm saying? I've been hit in the stomach, you know, hard as fuck and been dropped to my knees. Shit, I played football. I didn't been hit in the head and had a concussion. And been damn near been unconscious, nigga, and got back up and kept playing, nigga, because it ain't no way I'm staying down. It's just, it ain't no, as long as I got any kind of consciousness to know that, nigga, I'm getting up. And so that's my own experience, that's my own thing. So when I see Ryan Garcia, the count was to 10 and he stood up at 11. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so in my eyes, if you can't get up, nigga, I'm knocked out. Like, I can't physically get up. Like, I'm trying my hardest in my brain, nigga, I can't get up. That is something else than like being in pain and not being able to get up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's levels to this. It's levels to it. And I just think Crawford's level is gonna go to a higher level than Errol Spence's is, even if that means you know what I'm saying, getting nigga knocked the fuck out in the ring. And I think both fighters are willing to go to that length. I just think Spence don't go as far as Crawford. That's just my opinion. So that's why I picked Crawford to win. Yeah, but I said it at the start of this talk. I don't want to see this fight no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I say that, I think of Terence Crawford punching the shit out of Errol Spence and seeing Errol Spence wobbly or something, and then Crawford come in, hit him with some hard shots to the head and drop him. Or hit him with a hard one and Spence go like limp and get knocked out. Or Crawford punching on Spence. Bam, bam, hitting him, catch him, hurt, boom, boom, punching. What's the name? Stumbling back, trying to block. Crawford on it, boom, boom, boom. The ref stopped the fight. Right? I don't think I'm gonna be happy about that, bro. As I imagine that in my head, bro, that saddens me. Cause I like Errol Spence. I don't want to see Errol Spence get knocked out or hit and hurt or stopped. I don't want to see that. And I like Crawford better than I like Spence, and I think Crawford gonna win the fight. And vice versa. I don't want to see Spence hit Crawford with a hard body shot. Crawford go down, he uppercut him, boom, hurt him. Boom, hit him with another one and drop him. And Crawford can't get back up. He don't make the count. Or Crawford getting wailed on, bomb, bomb, bomb. His hand, you know how Spence do. He get there, he shell the motherfuckers up and get to working. And Crawford hurt, and the ref got to step in and stop the fight. Or if Spence come out and dog him and then catch him with that straight left or that overhand left or that left hook or the right hook and catch Crawford on the chin and put him out. And Crawford, chin, boom, that chin go and his body just go limp and I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I really don't. I'd be upset. I heard Showbiz the adult talk about this. He was talking about how heartbroken he was when Roy Jones lost. And I remember, I was a young kid, but I remember feeling like a tinge of like something. Like when Tyson lost, like it was a saddening, like, and I remember being a kid and feeling it. And it's almost like almost like these figures to you become immortalized in a sense. And so if they lose like that, and you see yourselves in them, it puts in your face your own mortality, like your own vulnerability. And I don't really want to see that. I don't want to see it, bro. I really don't. And the way Showbiz did, though, he was upset, bro. I'd be upset if either one of them get knocked out. So it's kind of mixed emotions, because I know it's going to be a good fight, and I can't wait to see what happens, and the strategies and the adjustments and that moment of truth, right? Because I want to be correct in my way of thinking. I think I'm right. So I want to, but in order to be right, you can't just say, you got to prove. I want to prove. I want to show, like, see, my thought, my idea was right. So we but I don't want to see it no knockout, bro. I want to see it like a draw or something, bro. Draw, good fight. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? These go through the ringer, but you know what I mean. I don't want to see no brutal shit with these two dudes. Like, I like these motherfuckers. No homo. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know what I'm saying? Called me soft. But yeah, man, this would be like Tyson's. And I don't think this ever happened where it's like you got two fighters in there that, like, you damn near like equally. And so no matter what, you know what I'm saying, you lose. It's like a mom going to go watch her two sons playing the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, from the outside, you know, from a surface standpoint, oh yeah, it's a win-win. You know what I'm saying? Like, both of your sons made it this far. Like, oh yeah, the positive outweigh the negative for sure, no matter what the outcome of the game is, right? But we talking about just in the deep rooting of it. Like, it's got to be bittersweet, because one of your sons is gonna win the Super Bowl, and that's the greatest feeling ever. But one of them is gonna lose, and that's the worst feeling ever. And so, there's no way you can truly be like happy. You know what I'm saying? For you know, mother with both kids in the Super Bowl, and not to say that these are my kids, obviously, but like it's like, usually when you go to the Super Bowl, it's like your favorite team. If the Niners make it, then whoever they playing against, they the ops, nigga. Like, I don't give a fuck if let's beat them, and I'm a cheer and drink extra beer. Like, I ain't gonna give a fuck one bit about the pain that they feel about the loss, right? When your side win. But there's gonna be people in pain, and that's why winning and losing is opposites, right? You need the opposite energy. Like, in order to win, you got to know how it feel to lose, or winning wouldn't even be that fun. Like, you gotta experience losses to appreciate the wins. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, side note, I think that's why you see Floyd still fighting. You see him in these things and stuff. You see him still going, because he's trying to get the feeling of winning. Well, let me put it like this. He has to keep getting the feeling of winning to validate his winning. Right? But when you lose, when you've experienced loss and you experience that and then you win, your wins are more appreciative, so you don't need them. Like, you don't need them I need another win, I need to fix. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have balance. You know what I mean? You got that balance when you take a loss. But when you never lose, you gotta keep winning. You got to keep winning now. So now you're doing exhibitions just to win against nobodies. Just to win. Like think about it. Like, how fun is it to go into a fight, like, knowing that you're going to win? Like, the fun ain't fulfilling. It's fun, but it ain't fulfilling. So now you got to keep doing it. It's like an empty feel. And it's just my take on it, right? But anyway. So yeah, the balance of winning and losing. Right? So winners need losers. Joy need pain. Like, joy ain't gonna feel good if I don't know these motherfuckers over here hurting a little bit, right? But from a fan standpoint in this fight, I don't want to see, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I like both of them too much to see one. It's going to be bittersweet. I ain't going to be able to be happy at the outcome unless it's a tie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if one side lose, I'm a feel a certain type of way versus vice versa. Like, I feel like I'm too close to this fight. I don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? It's like two brothers fight. I don't want to see it. Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, get an op in here. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my take on it. So I'm fucking around. I know y'all understand, maybe understand what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, man, this is gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a great scrap. And on a real note, niggas, if somebody get knocked out, hey man, that's the price of doing. You know what I'm saying? That's why this that sport. Now I don't necessarily see a knockout happening. I can see somebody actually getting hurt though and surviving. I can see a knockdown. I can see, probably picture it all, which I don't really want to. But this is gonna be a great fight, and shit, the best man wins. But yeah, man, it's going down, man. I got Crawford. I got Crawford winning. Like I said, I think his character, right? If we just talking some side shit, I just think his character has been more true to form, and so when it comes down to it, I think he'll stand on it. I think he'll stand on it and stand in the fire a little bit longer than Spence. And obviously, I could be wrong because I see Spence winning too. Like that's why we got to see it. But yeah, man, it's your boy Beastie Bish, man. It's another episode of Backer and Boxing, man. Holla at your boy, man. You're